Oriole Center with myself, Connor Green, Joe Gutting, and JD Eva.
Woo!
Tigers beat the White Sox last night, 8-6. How about Cabrera's grand slam, sending in all them runs like that? That was really a big boost off for the Tigers right there. What do you guys think?
Yeah, it was great, especially because he's been on a home run slump ever since the first couple games. He hasn't hit one in a while. His batting average kind of dropping, but then he came back with 3 hits last night and a home run. It was awesome. It lifted the Tigers over the White Sox, who are doing really good this week. They destroyed their last team.
Yeah, they did. Verlander, wow, he's up to his 3rd win with 7 strikeouts. That's doing pretty good.
Yeah, he's only got 1 loss so far. I think he might be able to get another 20-win season this year if he keeps it up.
Yeah, I hope so. That'd be great for the old Detroit area.
Yeah, hopefully, Cabrera and Verlander, hopefully, it gets the Tigers going when they start winning more.
Now, Boston leads a series, winning against the Wings last night We'll just start that off. Okay, anyways. Red Wings fall 2-1 in the series with Boston with a 3-0 loss at home in Detroit. What's that all about, guys?
I don't know. I was pretty upset. I mean, we go to their place and we split with them, and then we come home looking to get an easy win, and they just destroy us.
Right. 3-0. That's pretty much a blowout in hockey.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty bad. All right, the NFL draft starts May 8th. What do you guys think about that?
I think that they're overrating Jadeveon Clowney by putting him at the 1st seed. I mean, yeah, he's a really good player, but his senior year, he pulled himself out because he didn't want to get hurt. He stopped doing summer workouts for teams because he didn't want to get hurt for the NFL. He's being lazy and he's being cocky, and I hope it comes back to bite him.
Yeah, I mean, besides Jadeveon Clowney, he's an outstanding player, but I think this is one of the most exciting drafts that there's been. There's so many good players going into it, and I think that'll, it's going to be an exciting draft this year.
Okay, how about Johnny Manziel? You think he's really going to get drafted to the Browns? Around,
I think,
4th?
I think he'll go around there. I mean, yeah, he didn't have a great senior year, but he's still a pretty good quarterback. I mean, he's definitely 1st-round material. Someone's going to end. The Browns do need a quarterback after their last couple injuries last year, so I think that's a high possibility.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the Browns is a good fit for him, but there's a lot of other, Houston, they need a quarterback. The Vikings, they need a quarterback too. And there's a lot of other options if the Browns don't take him. So I think either way, Manziel will find a good home.
Now, you guys think he's going to start this coming season, or not?
Yeah, if he goes to the Browns, I think he will, because they don't really have anybody. They don't have any quarterbacks yet. I mean, they got a couple, but there's injuries, and I think he will.
I think he's a good enough athlete where he can start this year.
All right, the NBA playoffs, kind of nothing really happening. No big upsets or anything, kind of like what you're expecting,
Yeah.
Well,
Yes, so far, I mean, the Heat won. That was expected. At first, the Pacers lost to the Hawks in the first game, which got me especially a little worried, but then they came back and beat them pretty bad in the second game, so I think they're going to end up taking that. But other than that, it's been pretty much expected. The teams who are expected to win have been winning.
Well, I don't think anybody expected the Wizards to take a 2-0 run on the Bulls. In Chicago, they beat them last night by 2. They go into overtime, and they're still able to pull off the win in Chicago. And John Wall's really got that Wizards team going.
Yeah, but they're really close teams. I mean, they're a 4 and a 5 seed. Those can always go either way. They're really close.
Right.
In the
You expect that to
standings.
be a great game.
Yeah.
That's what you do right there. So, U of M has 2 players that declared that they are going to an NBA draft, along with 1 MSU player. Glenn Robson III and Nick Stratokansas, or whatever. I don't know, you wrote it funny.
What's his name?
What is it?
Stauskas.
Stauskas?
Yeah.
U of M's Nick
Stauskas.
Stauskas. You just say it. I can't pronounce that. You got that?
You gotta say it.
You have Nick Stauskas and Glenn Robinson III have declared that they are going to the NBA draft along with MSU's Gary Harris. I was pretty upset when Nick Stauskas decided he was going to leave as a sophomore. Why can't you just stick around a year or 2 more and possibly win a national championship? They had the talent and everybody. I don't understand.
Well, same way with Burke and Hardaway. Yeah, Burke's good with the Jazz, but if he would have stayed another year, that would have helped Michigan's chances of winning another, or like going to the championship again.
Yeah, I mean,
And then this is just ruining. Like, who does Michigan have now? Who's going to be their leader?
yeah. And Glenn Robinson III, yeah, he's a great player, but I don't think he was worthy to leave his sophomore year. I mean, he's a great player, but he had a pretty bad year this year. He had an average year. Last year, as a freshman, he was outstanding. This year, he was kind of like a sixth man. I mean, he wasn't really out there making the big shots. He wasn't out there dunking like he used to. I mean,
Yeah, he definitely had a sophomore slump, and then next year he could have stayed, and then
he developed.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. These couple of years in college ball, I mean, they really develop you, and you got that, extra couple of years to get more practice, and then going to the NBA. I mean, yeah, go for it. That's awesome. But yeah,
it's all about the money these days.
Yeah, I guess it is all about the money these days. I'm just glad we don't have football players leaving their sophomore years anymore as much. I mean, most of the time they're staying, but
And Johnny Manziel's only a sophomore. He can stay for 2 more years. He's really the only player that's that young leaving that early.
yeah, it's sad seeing all these guys leave so early, and because then when they leave so early, they end up doing nothing in the NBA. They end up being or in the NBA or NFL sometimes. You just get pushed to the side because you didn't develop, and everyone else is better than you. They think they're all top dogs in the college because they're good, and then they go to the NBA and everyone's bigger and better.
If Stauskas and Robinson would stay, at least, just play it out till your senior year, they would get drafted so much higher because they'd be so much better, and it'd just be better, look for them for the future. But
Yeah.
leaving this early, you don't know what's going to happen when they get drafted.
Well, that concludes episode 3 of Oriole Center. Tune in the next couple weeks for our next episode.
Boom.